In 2021, we had like a heart-to-heart moment about the business and where we were, how things were transitioning because everything was going so fast. We were making money way before the pandemic. Like I remember our goal in 2018 was like, shit, we get a cool 10,000, we up, right? And then it was like, damn, that's it? Like, what we gonna do with that? But anyway, so in 2021, I felt like we reached a financial cap, right? Like, where else do we go? What else do we do? Like, what's next? So I was like, damn, like, we need PR. How many of you are aware of PR? How many of you have or are being represented by a company, a person? Nobody. That's the gatekeep. But that's been one of the secrets to helping build this business and this brand. And I say that because all of you know and understand Marcus. You said it best. Marcus creates a lot of fires. A lot of fires. And guess who has to put them out? Ha, me, right? Say it again. So in any case, I thought that this conversation would be important because I'm like, what am I going to get up there and talk about? Because I know with this group, it's totally different from recession proof. Like we were in a different place, we were growing, we were building, transitioning, trying to figure it out to where now it's like we have the blueprint to help you all scale and grow. So I'm like, okay, well, I think PR is a missing indicator from the marketing tool that he teaches you all. So I wanted to introduce one of my great people. I think he's great. I think he's touched every industry that you can think of, and I just think that he's not big enough for what he does and who he is. So I just want to introduce to everybody Bentley.
Girl, I made recession proof. Hey, I made recession proof.
So Bentley, after we get through with this, you got to tell them how long you've been trying to get over here, right?
Oh man, since 2017.
Yeah.
Switch seats, turn. Oh, come to the other side of the table. Yeah, you want you over here. Inclusive combo.
Is this all right for you?
Yes. You know, it's my homegirl. We be like sitting right up on each other.
But listen, Bentley has been trying to get into recession proof since 2017. That's when we started. Like we legitimately, well no, 2015, 16, but we legitimately started mentorship and everything else in 2017 when we kind of hit the ground running, right? And I remember you would say like, I've been trying to get at Marcus, I've been, DMing him, he ain't responding, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, Marcus, we missing something. Like, Bentley is him. Like, so I just wanted you to introduce yourself and, your line of work that you've done so they can get to know exactly who you are.
Oh man, I am a real life entrepreneur. I have actually been in communications since I was in kindergarten. I was on the 90s TV in elementary school. Good morning, good year. And my brother said, all we can see is your eyes and teeth. You're so black. So I've been doing this media relations, communications ever since elementary, middle, and high school. I was a morning announcements head anchor. I also was the yearbook editor. So I was always the one who knew who was hot, who was popping, who was not making the book. I really was it was like a real mean girl thing going on. And I had the hood down packed. I mean, you go back and look at those yearbooks, the hood is like, oh man, we all in this thing. And I'm like, yeah, because it was us who made the school. It was us who were the top athletes. It was us who was representing. And I just refused for them to go put some kids from out in the country in front of us. And we really was like lit. And so when I went to college, we didn't have, I went to Tuskegee. And so we didn't have a communications program. But when I first got set foot on the campus during freshman week, I don't know, I heard something. And it was like, start your business. And I was like, what? And I'm just like, I don't know, it was the air on campus that just made me just be like, get to it. I don't know what it is, but get to it. So I started my business August the 17th of 2005, and it was the Bentley Didier firm. I had no client. I didn't even know what a firm was. I didn't know what I was doing. But literally from there, my very first client was my homeboy in school, Rich Boy. And it was 2005, and it was like, hey, we got BET coming down for Black College Tour. What can we do? And just like how Nia was saying, you gotta jump out there, you gotta say what's up, I was like, look, this is what we gotta do. Last year I ain't had nobody come, this year I'm here. And I'm a freshman, these people look at me like, boy, you just got through registration. But no, it's all about what I want to experience, what I want to see, what my peers want to see. And that was the very first day that I literally started my business, was telling these people who are budgeting the school's money, saying, no, you need to do X, Y, and Z. We need to not go and let them put community in our face. How about we put our own in our face, which is Rich Boy. All of Alabama was already throwing some D's on it, but he wasn't a huge name. But by the time BET Black College Tour left Alabama, when they came to Tuskegee, it was like, you know what, can you help us get to Alabama State? Sure. Can you help us get to Alabama A&M? Sure. By the time we made to Alabama A&M, Rich Boy was signed to a contract by Def Jam. Wow. You get what I'm saying? And they was like, we need somebody. Who you got with you? He was like, Bentley. And I was like, boy, I don't even know. Okay, you know what? Let me just rise to the occasion. My goodness gracious. Like, okay. And then from there, honestly, I didn't learn much at Tuskegee. I was on the road because the world taught me business. The world taught me communications. Right. The world taught me legal regulations, production. The world was really my teacher. And ever since then, I'm not going to lie to you, I never stopped turquoise. Ever since 05, it's 20 years later.
No, listen, I pay attention. And you hit the ground running. And then the level of clientele that you have, and I know you don't really like talking about it, and I'm not going to put it out there unless you want to, but when it comes to entrepreneurs and influencers and online success, that's kind of what I want to talk to you about, because in the 1%, that's what Marcus does. He teaches you how to go out there, market yourself, market your product, and things like that. So I'm like, okay, well, from a PR standpoint, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions that you can kind of give them some pointers and things like that, so they would understand why PR is important. Okay. So for entrepreneurs who primarily market online, which is majority, 90% of the people in here, what's the biggest misconception about PR, about what PR actually does? And how is it different from social media marketing or branding?
Now, with that, easy, two totally different things. You know what I mean? One thing I appreciate about Marcus is when I first was moving into this circuit, into this particular market area, I realized that he was very consistent about the funnels. And what people don't really understand is that the funnels really work, because the funnels to me are like the characteristics of the human mind and body. The more we see it, the more you understand, the more I kind of go down the rabbit hole, but some rabbit holes are good, okay? The more that you're into it, you totally understand, and there's different deliverables on the back end that comes out. And see, most people are so worried about the public perception of your business and your sales, but you gotta also understand the internal public perception of that as well. Is it working? You get what I'm saying? And you can see that through your sales. Is your sales working? Are your products being purchased? Are things in repetition? Are they recommending? Are they buying other products through recommendations? See, public relations ain't so much as external. It really starts inside. It's really internal is where it starts. How else are we best to tell the public what's what? If internally your sales and your marketing and all of that is not working well, the public ain't gonna know what's working for you as well. They'll skip your product and go over to Lululemon. You get what I'm saying? Because your sales make a difference. Your selling deliverables are not actually reaching the public. And see, also too, on the inside, you gotta know what you have. You gotta know your product. You gotta know what you're doing. That's where the internal public relations come from. We're really quick to say, I need a publicist. Technically, you need a strategist to help you understand internally what you are doing with the systems, what you're doing. When you step to the left, what does the public say? If you push this product out, what is the public going to say? How have your sales also reflected that and forecasted that as well? So it's much more internal in this regards when it comes to sales than it is an external thing. Yes, external, you can get anybody to buy anything, but internally, is it working? Right. And that's the true public relations.
So, but I feel like with influencers, it's kind of different, right? Or online marketers, or social media marketers, right? Because a lot of them don't have tangible products, they sell a service, right? So I feel like one of the hardest things for us when it came to finding the right PR was who can tell our story the best, right? And of course he's the face of it, and I mean everybody knows there's a lot of marks there. You know what I mean? So in a situation like that, how would somebody like you in your position navigate for somebody who's in this space? Like, what are the key indicators or strategies that you would put out to kind of help push them forward?
Well, first and foremost, knowing the audience, know your audience. Whether you are a talent, whether you are a brand or a service or a product, you literally have to know your audience. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like once you do know your audience, you as a talent, if you're doing talent facing, you as a brand, you as a product, you are able to definitely get your message across. The one biggest thing with having and dealing with influencers so much is it's like a 50-50 win. Now, today, everybody's an influencer. When I first started, I had MySpace, okay? Back in 2005. Girl, MySpace, College Club, come on, I'm sorry to put my age out there, but that's what those were our deliverables. Yeah. And so that is what you had to start off with. And I feel like that was the best of times because you didn't see nobody grow overnight. You saw them put in the work. You saw them. So when I saw Marcus, and basically 16 to be technical, okay? And I started talking to him in 17, 18, because I was like, no, you gotta come over here and speak over here because I think they're not hearing you loud enough. You get what I'm saying? Those were our funnels to see people really get onto their pages and really build their page. And the next week you go back and they got something else in there. The next week, it's a funnel. It's keeping you engaged into what they have going on. Then of course, we got into the Facebooks and into everything else that came behind it. But to me, I've seen a lot of people really take those same techniques from the traditional social media that we had, and it's actually still alive today. Like I said, I look at the funneling system of sales and realize like MySpace gave us that. They gave us coding. You get what I'm saying? They gave us quite a bit of things, and it really was up to you on what you did with it. You're either gonna put this loud music up there on it and blast people away, or you're gonna have some things that are just gonna keep people engaged and in tune. And so that's what I did. I used everything I had to make sure I was engaged and in tune. My MySpace was popping. Matter of fact, I mean, you had to stay with the current phones to keep watching my stuff because I had the latest music, the latest delivery. I was turning myself into a whole tech nerd and didn't even know what we were doing. But I say that in regards to the talent as the influence of that. Because of certain people, because of the Soldier Boys, we were able to say, okay, he said, use this, do that. So sometimes talent is a great influence to pushing your product, but really it's you that has to have the systems. The product has to have quality. What does it does for a person's life? If it's fashion, what does it make them do? If it's a product, like a lotion or it's perfume, how is it making people feel? Those are the things that still truly matters. People will buy your things off of the hype, but people will continue to support your brand based off the consistency of what you're offering and what you're doing.
Okay, so you can't work with everyone.
No.
Right? You have to kind of outsource and see, I mean, if you're in alignment, if they're a good fit for your company and your brand, or just somebody that you can work with, right? So, when building an online brand, what key milestones or signs show that it's time to hire a PR agent instead of just continuing a DIY visibility or just online marketing?
I say you keep going until you can't anymore. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes bringing in a person of a title at a certain time may not benefit you. It actually may cost you more money. Yes. Because you may not be ready for that. But now you have this retainer, this contract of 12 months, gotta pay this person, and you're really not seeing anything because you're not even really supposed to be there yet. It's like hiring a manager. You need to be managing yourself till you cannot manage yourself no more. You get what I'm saying? Again, also too with finding the right publicist. Make sure that people actually have done what it is that you are looking for them to do. A lot of times, so I'm gonna give you some technical terms. If they call themselves a PR, run. This is my sister. So we can have this kind of candid conversation. But if they call us, oh, PR, take off. One, in our industry, we're big on respect of titleships. We're big on respect of names. We're big on respect of everything. If they're not calling themselves a publicist or a communications practitioner, get out of there. They have not read. They don't know. They're out here on the ground, and they're going to take you down with them. You get what I'm saying? Get with people. And y'all know I'm not lying. They'll sit here and they'll be like, oh, you're on the best PR, but you don't see no actionable work around it. You don't see no long-term stories, no long-term clients. Some of them can't keep people for 6 months. You gotta be careful about what you're looking for and what you're coming to bring into your brand. And then on top of that, you don't just want to just go look for a publicist. You gotta understand what you need. If you're saying, hey, right now my business is real, we're doing really good socially, people are picking us up, our things are over here, over there, you really want something, and you're like, I got a lot of media inquiries. Don't go get somebody that say, oh, I'm a publicist. Get somebody that say, I handle media relations. See, that's a niche in there that everybody that says they're publicist is not able to do. They don't have the media relationships that you're looking for. Okay, they may say, I'm a publicist, and you saw them over with Saucy. That's great. We all have amazing friends. You get what I'm saying? We all can go and sit and take a picture. What is the work looking like on the back end? What is others saying about their work? Matter of fact, go find a client that they just left away from and ask them, how do they feel about that person? That's what will help you understand what you need to bring, okay? Because at the end of the day, some people can actually do the work, and some people actually don't, and they use the titleships and or others' titles to say what they are, and they don't produce. And then you, as the client, you're kind of in the hole. You're now 20,000 in the hole because public relations is an investment. You know what I mean? You're paying that retainer for a strategist, for someone who's going to take the brand, lead the brand, run the brand for you in the public perception. They're able to speak on this thing. They're able to put out your fires. They can create a fire if necessary. That's how in tune that you want that person to be. So listen to what they're saying. Ask them about their media relations skills. Ask them about what is their last 10 placements. Okay? That'll also tell you too what's going on with them. Because some people are really just a good hype man. Okay? Some people are really just a really good hype man, so they take on the titleship of, oh, I'm a publicist, and they're really not. That's right.
That's
you get what I'm saying?
A lot. Like,
and that's what I'm saying.
The relationship.
No work behind it.
No,
just really great at showing up. I mean, they can get into the rooms because everybody knows you're a good time girl. But the work will take you from being a good time girl to being a globally recognized. Right. In the Bible. Well, I mean, yeah, we hope for what's in the Bible, because then again, people like to put titles on things that they think that they can put a title onto and run with it, because we're in this world where you can just call yourself anything today. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying for the people in this room. I saw the hands that was being raised. There was no hands raised. Nobody's being represented. Wonderful. That is great. Now you can actually go and look for what you need to look for. Just because they represent Cardi B, you got to keep in mind who she is. You get what I'm saying? What she does. You need somebody that, what you had told me earlier, they got to get down and dirty with us. That's where you need somebody that has to be proven this
in the mud.
In the mud. Baby, I was born up in the mud, okay? So they got to know how to get down here. Get in there and handle the work. It's not so much as a glorified position. It's really a lot of brain power. It's really a lot of being up at night. It's a lot of business. It's a lot of strategy. It's a lot of contacting people all through the night. See, while most people go to sleep at midnight, I still got to stay up. My Philippines clients are just waking up, and the staff over there is waking up. You get what I'm saying? Then, of course, you know, when most people are waking up in the mornings at 8 a.m., I've already been up because I had to be on a 4 a.m. call. You want someone that is as dedicated to their stuff as it is to yours. If I look at your PR company and it's not yielding anything, but all you guys a bunch of pictures, a bunch of concerts, then to me that's like you're not doing the real work.
Or fabricated stories.
Or fabricated
I feel like that's a lot. It happens a lot, especially in this industry, is that once you put something out on the internet, it lives forever, right? So
not unless you got a good publicist.
Well, that's where I was going. We did it a lot of these times, and it's like, who wrote that? Or why is that picture like that? Or why do you look like a white man? Or what is wrong with this? Like, so I would get upset and angry because he ain't paying attention. So I would get upset and angry, and I'm like, you know what? They fired. They gone. It's over. So that brings me to my next question. Because we have done this, right? Because as you know, everybody knows he's one of the greatest online marketers. For anything, you give him anything, this camera right now, he's gonna sell it to you. But what's a common mistake you see entrepreneurs make when they try to handle their own PR? And how can it hurt their reputation or growth in the industry?
Man, I gotta say that I don't even trust my own brain sometimes. Okay? And you hear it from a strategist. You know, you've got to know what you're doing. And it has to supersede far beyond what you want to do. You get what I'm saying? Because your gifts are supposed to be able to take you across multiple planes and landscapes. And so you just really have to really, truly like hone in on what that looks like. Now, you can run your own PR. They would kill me. They'd be like, Benny, why you telling people that? Because in actuality, you actually can until you get to the point where you need to hire someone. See, the biggest problem is, again, they're starting out this brand. And then they don't even, they may have a lot of notoriety and don't know how to answer.
Right.
They may be getting a lot of inquiries. That's when I feel like you should go get somebody and say, hey, okay, I'm actually getting quite a bit of stuff coming in. I kind of did a little bit on my own, you know what I mean? But what do I need to do now? That's when you're ready. Other than that, just because she has a publicist, I mean, you need a publicist. You get what I'm saying? And I think that is where the big misconception come in, and then that's also where publicists get a bad name. And sometimes people have brought us in prematurely. They don't even have their businesses together. And so here we all be here trying to rake the yard and ain't even got no seeds, so we just raking dirt. Dirt and leaves and making nice designs. But then when you go back, because every business owner goes back and say, am I getting my money's worth? Well, I mean, girl, all you gave me was a rake and some sand. Like, we need like the seeds. Like, girl, when is the lawn man coming? Like, what's the schedule of maintenance of this lawn here? Like, you know, so people got, and that's what it is in business. You're so quick to say, I need a publicist. But then what is the strategy? What are we doing in the next 30, 60, 90? What has happened in the past 30, 60, 90? And a lot of times people say, I want a publicist. You got to make sure, and especially with, I would say this, with certain people in the nature of their lineup of work, you need a crisis manager. You don't need a publicist. Well, okay, you got some people, now I got rappers, okay? So I'm mad at Trinidad right now. So y'all know it's like every day you got to wake up and kind of be like, what did you do all night? Okay, because you never know. I had y'all, you know, and I had different things. I've handled quite a bit for years, everything for 2 Chainz. So you have to wake up and be like, oh my God, what did they do all night? Thank God these men that I'm calling besides the latter, they literally were businessmen. But when you are a high-profile person, you need somebody that knows how to go and turn into sugar. You get what I'm saying? And it's not easy. I come from a black family, so you know we can always smoosh some stuff around and get back to it. So I use that to the best of my ability. I raised up in a house of 4 generations of women: great grandma, grandma, mama, little sister, and big sister and little cousin. So all I heard was women just fixing and cleaning up. So that's what got me into the world. Then my brother was selling drugs, you know, New York and Miami. So I'm just listening. I'm looking at the court. I'm in court cases. I'm in well, I think that was the perfect makings of a global publicist. Is to be around a lot of situations and seeing how people are handling them, and then being able to say, okay, no, you shouldn't do this, you should do that. And you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't do that. Until it landed me, CFDA, I helped Betsy Johnson, Von Dutch, open their stores before they went public. I'm talking about, this was 2007, 8, 9. Landed CFDA Global Accounts. I landed Vogue Fashion Night Out, SCAD Fashion Week, Savannah Fashion Week. That was 8, 9, 10. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be all in fashion. Nope, came to Atlanta, they said, hey, can you meet Tip at the strip club? You want to talk to you? And I'm just like, what's going on? He got a restaurant. And it's like, boom, boom, now I'm running into that. Then they're like, hey, Dr. Dre said, could you help out with this album release? And I'm like, okay, I guess West Coast for life. Okay, let's go. You know what I mean? And so, you know, things begin to move. Then you have clients in Bali, then you got clients in Ghana. So you listen to everything that everybody's doing and understanding that, okay, no, what you really need right now is crisis. Okay, no, what you really need right now is media relations. Okay, what you really need is a strategist. You got a lot, but it ain't planned out. You know, so there's different elements to this thing when you have somebody that really has the understanding of what they're doing. It's not about being in the public. Y'all don't even see me. That's why I like to put on clothes, because I don't get to come outside, y'all. So, I love to put on some clothes because 90% of the time, I'm at that desk. And I don't know if y'all was looking, I got this phone, I got 2 over there in that bag. When I'm at home, I got my laptop, I got my tablet, I got my iPad. This one is in Central Time, this one over here is dealing with the Philippines, this one is over dealing with London. This phone is dealing with everybody in Atlanta. Like, and I'm telling you, they be just going. But you want somebody that's so into what they have going on, that when they bring your brand into their wheelhouse, you may have your own running wheel, but you're running into their wheel. And I know, for prime example, y'all have seen me literally see somebody who had their own thing going, and I took them from, I ain't gonna say names, I took them from being a hundredaire to a millionaire. And guess what? The phones that was sent, I'm gonna brag on my, okay, because this is what I do with my business. is I'm proud to say that. You know what I mean? And it's so funny that now we look and I see funnels and classes that I created at 17, they're still being reproduced today and still making them residual money. From my understanding, they say they made over $100,000 of residuals of the things I created in 2017. And they're still using it today. I mean, ain't changed the image,
Clap it up for that.
name, but that's learning what they wanted, understanding where the client wanted to head, forecasting for the business, because also at the same token, COVID hit. Yeah. And I mean, you would have thought God came down and slapped us with a bag of money, because we was on the up and up. We was opening up businesses left and right. It was like, oh, the world is sick. We had a grand opening 30 days later. They was like, oh, hey, the whole country shut down. We was lit on Peter Street. I don't know about anybody else. Baby, when the world was shut down, we literally became everything. And also in that, a real strategist is one that will actually take and pivot. So I use that perfect time. Oh, you can't tour. Oh, and you can't go out of the country. Okay, now we're going to Good Morning America. You get what I'm saying? I used all of that time for my clients to actually be the face front of what was happening with COVID in Atlanta, one of the major cities, and also we were able to help the city set legislation. I'll be honest with you, Mayor Bottom said, why are y'all still open? I said, because I have employees that if they miss a date, somebody actually can go to jail because they're not working, and so child support is going to get cut off. I got somebody else over here, if they don't go to work, they can't get into the homeless shelter that they're staying into. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I have to now say, okay, I want these people to work, y'all can't work, because I got to now offer everybody something to do. And we helped create what was literally essentialness to the city. And you gotta remember, at the same time, that's when the nightlife committee was also created as well. Right. Because I was able to capitalize. I had now opened 4 venues in 3 months of COVID being open. I mean, we was like, y'all know I was on
Atlanta was like the only place that was.
We were the only ones open. And to be honest, our particular restaurant groups was the only ones that open at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we had everybody, we had the club. So we literally, now my client gets on TV and says, it wasn't only just the music that has made him $1 million. The restaurants at that time made him $1 million. And that made me so proud that, again, when you're seeing somebody saying, I'm only making a couple of $100,000, a couple of hundred, every other month from this, you know what I mean? But until they saying, nah, bro, we just cleared $1 million, like, yes, ma'am. Now that was a pivot, and I felt so good because I was more in entertainment. I was more into global strategy and moving people around and didn't even know that I had a niche for this type of thing.
And scalability being important.
But I never stopped learning. So I heard them say there's reading. I read the 1 Minute Manager because I was like, baby, I'm one person and I'm handling the globe. What do I do? And my client at the time, Snoop, handed me a book. She said, here, read this. And I was like, she think I'm inadequate. And I was like, oh my God. Like, she handed me this book. I really felt, I personally felt some type of way. And then I went home and opened the book and I said, you know what? See, that's the difference between you and other people. At least I would give it a try. Because when I read that 1 Minute Manager, I expedited everything that I was doing for the past 15 years before. I was able to literally take a moment and really, when I say expedite, because that 1 Minute Manager, if you're a strategist, read that 1 Minute Manager. Us as people of color, we actually divulge a lot of time into these things when you're not really supposed to. We spend so much time when we could really be more productive. You get what I'm saying? And so if you are having that problem with trying to stay focused, you have the ADD, ADHD, ABCD, EFG, go read the 1 Minute Manager because it's going to help you stay on task. And I actually have an ADHD employee right now. He's very proud of me, like, look, you got to explain this to me slow. And I said, no, I don't. Read the 1 Minute Manager, and we certainly will. And he's actually been seeing some productivity in these past 90 days. So he's now able to handle all my media relations and pitching. And he came in with no college education, just a willingness to just work.
So who's a believer in PR after hearing this man?
Amen. Hey, come on, y'all, some believers. I was saying earlier. Okay, you believers.
You're out of time. You have done an amazing job. Give them your information. Tell them where they can find you, how they can reach you, and how they can hire you.
Listen, absolutely, you guys. So I am Bentley Didier. My Instagram is ITZ Bentley DIDIER. It's Didier, okay? And then you can find us at didierandassociates.com as well. Trust me, I'm all over social. I'm all in everybody's comments. I'm a big supporter of my people. Yes. I will certainly be sticking around as well. And of course, they have my information. Of course, if you are a 1%er, then whatever you need from your coaches, I'm one of the people that's just a call away from them. So that's why you're supposed to be active in this organization, active in this thing, and networking and actually speaking up about what you need, because they actually have the keys to success.
Thank you so much.